Welcome to this week's weekend episode of Go Team Score Points, a podcast that started because the news is a lot and maybe learning about sports will be nice. In each weekend episode, we learn about an NBA player and play a game that we've made up. It's our best episode yet.
Bones Hyland.
I want to tell you about Bones Hyland.
Okay.
This information mostly came from The Athletic and from the Old Man and the Three podcast where they interviewed him.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. This guy is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
He is mostly loved by everyone.
Great.
Yeah. So he got the nickname Bone when he was 7-ish.
Okay. Skinny?
He was skinny.
Yeah.
And he had just moved to Delaware from North Carolina, and a coach was calling him Carolina, but the kids were like, we want to give you a nickname. So they called him Bones. And then another friend called him Busy. And so he became Busy Bones.
Nice. Was there a Bones at your school growing up? A skinny kid who they called Bones? No. Oh, we had two.
Oh.
One was like maybe 6 years older than me or something.
Okay.
For Nicole. And then in my grade was also called Bones. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder where they are now. Okay. This is also his rap name.
Okay.
So he grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, and there's a viral video of him playing basketball in the park where some guys were like challenging him. And he was like, fine, you don't understand. I am not at the same level as you. This is when he was 17. And he was like, let's go 1-on-1. And he beat the guy 7-0. Wow. And then beat the next guy. And that video went viral.
Okay. He was saying, you don't get this. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
were these like men?
No, they look to be all around the same-ish age. It's interesting because he said, like, he talks about how he's very humble, and him saying that, like, you don't understand, like, I'm not at your level, he was saying in like this very matter-of-fact way.
Right.
Like, you don't understand. Like, I play basketball at a different level.
Yeah, I did the research. This is not going to end well for you.
And it's true.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Bones Hyland, but the Timberwolves played the Celtics 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he had a really good game.
Yeah.
And he was really celebrating how good he was playing. He was really into himself. Yeah. It's interesting that the word humble, those things don't have to be.
So the word that is used most about him from like coaches and other players is joy. But like, he brings so much joy to the game. Like, he loves playing. Great. He's like very upbeat. He's very grateful for things. So
is there
there is like, do you know this story?
I know nothing.
So March 25th, I think 8 years ago, his junior year of high school, there was a house fire. He was watching March Madness on his laptop, and he smelled smoke. Like, by the time he went to his bedroom door, like, the fire was so big that he had to jump out the window. This is his junior year of high school. He had been recruited, or like was in the process of being recruited by schools. Like, he was very, very good at basketball. And he got to the window, and a neighbor was like, you got to jump. Like, we need you. This is what he says. And he was like this well-known basketball player in the community. And he was saying that it was like, you're the hope for our community. Like, you are the hope that you can get out of here.
I get it.
And you can be something. Like, we need you. You have to jump. And he jumped, and he landed on like a set of stairs, like concrete stairs, and he tore his patella. And his grandmother and 11-month-old cousin died in the fire.
Holy cow.
But there were 12 people living in the house. So I don't know how many were home at the time. He doesn't say, but like, firefighters rescued his little brother. And later the firefighters came to watch him play in Philadelphia, and he like got emotional. Yeah. Anyway, so he tore his patella tendon, and the doctors were like, I don't know. Like, they had these conversations, like, I don't know if you're ever going to play basketball again. Yeah. So it was like very, very hard for him. He was in the hospital for a while, and he's like so well known and so loved in this community. They had to put him in like a private room because so many people came to the hospital to check on him. Wow. He said people he didn't even know were like donating money so they could like buy a new house. Yeah. And this is when he really knew, like, he decided that he wanted to go to VCU. Do you know what this college is? Because I had to look it up. I've never heard of it.
Virginia Commonwealth?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So people know about this school.
Well, I only know because they've had a few NCAA tournament runs that were like unexpected and
when he was playing
and fun. Oh, did they?
Yeah,
maybe.
So.
I haven't followed college hoop for.
I'm not totally sure.
I haven't followed it for a long time, but they had some good runs which were fun.
So he said that they started recruiting him like his sophomore year or junior year of high school, and then after the fire, he kept saying they showed him so much love that like they called to check on him every single day and showed up for him and got things that they needed for the family. And he was like, I hadn't even signed with them.
Where does your brain go? Do you feel jaded about that, or do you feel like someone actually cared?
Maybe a little bit of both, because the other schools didn't show up in this way, right?
Right.
Like, he was being recruited by several schools, big schools.
Yeah.
And I mean, these people they must have cared. This kid he had family members die. Yeah. Like, he could have died. Yeah. So I do think they cared.
Yeah.
And he said when he showed up and went to college there, he was like, they showed me that love the whole time I was there. Like he kept saying how much he loved it there and how much love they showed him.
Yeah.
Sounds like a very good fit.
It is easy to get jaded about that. And like this, basketball school is just using these little pawns. But also like maybe I certainly know teachers who like really care about, I hope I am one that like really care about their students. And like when they're suffering, will step up and go. There was like a gruesome injury in a Final Four game a few years ago. Louisville, maybe. So I think, and it was maybe Rick Pitino, and Pitino was crying on the sideline, and like as the game's going, he's like trying to get him. That to me was like an interesting thing that like I think of these high level college coaches as like I don't know, callous and like using the players for the glorification of their ego. That's probably true, but maybe it also like there's a piece of it where they really care what's best for these guys.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the coach. Sure. Like I'm sure there are some coaches who are more like into an established like relationship, like a coaching relationship.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So he's at VCU, getting shown love.
He played there for 2 years. Throughout the interview, when he was on Old Man and the Three, he kept talking about like how grateful he is, like he's for everything.
You use that word a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
great.
And when he talks about surviving the fire, like it was such a tragedy, but he talks about like how powerful it is to like have survived this like deadly thing and how he's so grateful to survive and that he brings that to everything he does. Now, that being said, he played with the Nuggets. So he was drafted, he was the 26th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft. And it was interesting listening to the people interviewing him, talking to him about draft night, because you and I have talked about like, did they know it was this team?
Yeah.
So he said what he knew was that he knew he was going to be like between 10 and 30, but he didn't know which team. And he thought it was going to be the Lakers, and that he had talked to different teams and joined them for practice draft workouts or something.
Pre-draft
workouts. And he had gone to LA, but he didn't go to Denver because he was like convinced that it wasn't going to happen with Denver. And then so he was really surprised that it was Denver.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what gave him that impression.
He probably said it in the interview.
I mean, I wonder if someone in Denver told him like, this is probably not what's going to happen. Or if the Lakers were picking earlier and he was sure the Lakers were going to take him.
Right.
Or I don't know.
So he was with Denver for one season, and then halfway through the second season, he got traded to the Clippers because he clashed with the coaches because he didn't think he was playing enough.
Mike Malone. Yeah.
So he was traded away, and then that was the season that the Nuggets won a championship.
Yeah.
And this is what it said in The Athletic, that they did not offer him a ring for his contributions.
Really?
Is that something that normally happens?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think anyone in the roster at any point in that year usually gets a ring.
Oh, wow. He did not.
Must have been contentious.
Yeah, I think so. On the Nuggets at the same time was like a basketball ops guy named Tim Connolly. And when Bones got traded to the Clippers, or right before that, Tim Connolly went to go work for the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Is he their GM? Do you know?
He is the president of basketball operations.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Okay.
First of all, he signed 5 years for $40 million for that job with
Tim
the Timberwolves. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I know this is a side note. And Tim Connolly, the president of basketball operations for the Timberwolves, he has 4 brothers and 2 sisters, and all 4 of his brothers, Pat, Joe, Dan, and Kevin, work as scouts or managers in the NBA or college basketball.
Wow.
Isn't that so wild? Pat was previously assistant general manager of the Suns. Joe works for the Wizards in player development. Dan as a scout for the Utah Jazz, and Kevin runs a scouting service for high school players.
Wow. I wonder who their dad is.
There's no way to know.
Probably not. I bet he did something with basketball.
I bet he did. So Tim Connolly, who had worked with Bones and like had something to do with the Nuggets drafting him.
Yep. Yeah.
Leaves for the Timberwolves around the time that Bones got sent to the Clippers.
Yes.
Okay. Bones played for the Clippers for 2 years. Played for is a generous term. He like did not have many minutes with them.
Okay.
So even though the Nuggets let him go because he complained he wasn't getting enough playing time, The Athletic writes that like they write it in this positive spin of when he didn't get a lot of playing time on the Clippers, that he like used that time to like study Russell Westbrook and Norman Powell, and that he learned from Ty Lue. Mm-hmm. And his quote is, "Not being on the floor and knowing you can help a team win, not going to lie, it was eating me alive."
Interesting, right? Because there's a world where he's like, oh, maybe I'm not that good. Because if that happened with the Nuggets and then he's like, I need a new situation, and it happens again with the Clippers, you're like, is this a me problem? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And probably to get to the NBA, you can't think that way.
Right.
I would guess.
Well, you think like, you don't understand, you're not at this level.
That's exactly
like, I am an NBA player.
Yeah.
And like, he was right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was traded again at the 2025 deadline to the Hawks, and then they waived him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tim Connolly was like, yoink.
Not right away. So he was like, not sure what to do. And he almost signed for someone in Europe. Then he got a non-guaranteed contract with the Wolves in September. So he came to the Timberwolves on a 2-way deal last season, which was a favor from president of basketball operations, Tim Connolly, who drafted him to Denver in 2021.
A favor?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's an interesting word.
He must have something. Tim Connolly likes this guy because he drafted him for the Nuggets and that didn't work out. And now he's brought him. So things seem really good with the Timberwolves, and Chris Finch, that's their coach. He said, I love having him on the team. He's the same every day. He's a super happy guy. He's one of those guys who brings joy to the game in the way he plays it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I have about Bones Hyland.
Thanks for telling me about Bones Hyland. That was probably the most interesting thing I've heard all week. That actually might be. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that story about him.
Yeah. And I should put in the notes or whatever the link to the actual interview that he does. It's really good.
On the Old Man and the Three.
Yeah. It's kind of old. It's from when he was on the Nuggets, I think. Okay. So we don't have a game.
Okay.
This is the first time.
Oh, here, let's try this. We're almost at the playoffs.
Okay.
We talked before the season started.
Oh, yeah.
About what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
This year. I don't know if I can do this off the top of my head. Do you remember who you picked for MVP?
Yeah.
Who?
Wemby.
How are you feeling about that pick?
Well, I felt really good about it like last week. Today, I'm not they just lost to the Nuggets today.
Yeah.
But like, not only am I so happy that I picked him, but like I've heard from social media that when you get nominated or people are talking about you being MVP, that you are supposed to say like, oh, I don't care about that. I just want my team to do well.
Yeah.
And Wemby did not do that.
No, he's like, defense is half the game. I'm the best.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think you're right? Do you think he's going to win?
I don't think he's going to win this year, but I think he's going to win next year.
Me too. And I also think that you were really early to this trend. But like, I know. I picked Jokic.
Yeah.
It's going to be Shea. It's going to be the Thunder are just too good. So it's going to be Shea. Both wrong about that. Do you remember your finals prediction?
Oh.
I know who you said was going to win. I don't remember who you said they were going to play.
Remember that?
Yeah, you said the Nuggets.
Yeah. That sounds like me.
How do you feel about that?
Less good. Now I think like the winner.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Oklahoma City again.
Yeah. And
I don't think the Nuggets are going to make it all the way.
No, I don't either.
The playoffs. What was your prediction? Do you remember?
The Nuggets.
Oh.
And I said, oh yeah. So I said the Nuggets were going to beat the Cavs in the finals, which I don't feel good about.
Yeah, no.
I don't feel good about. I don't think that the Cavs can beat the Pistons. I don't think they can beat the Celtics, and I don't think they would beat the Knicks.
Yeah,
so none of those. They would need to go through at least one of those teams, if not more than one, to get there.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I think so. I actually don't really think the Thunder are going to win. It's just been no team has done this for such a long time. We've talked throughout it about how hard it is to play basketball. Like it's just hard. They had a really long playoffs last year. They had a really long season this year. They started at whatever it was, 25-1 or 24-1 or something like that. Right. And they've been good since then. But everyone, when they got all these guys, I don't know, they've won a lot of games recently. I actually think the Spurs might go to the finals.
Oh,
yeah, I do. I kind of think I don't think it'll be the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers can win 3 rounds in the West. I don't know. We'll see how the seeds play out. If I was going to pick the 2 teams I thought most likely to make the Western Conference Finals, I think I would probably say the Nuggets and the Spurs. I don't feel great about the Thunder. And I think in the East, I don't feel good about anyone in the East, really.
Right.
But I guess like health provided, I sort of think the Celtics might make the finals.
But okay.
I know. They've seemed the best to me recently. We'll see. Oh, and Cade Cunningham is a huge variable in that if he comes back for the Pistons. So I think right now I would say the Spurs will beat the Celtics in the finals. Well, for your sake, I hope the Celtics win. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm trying to think if we made any predictions about anything else. We talked about coaches getting fired. Oh, yeah. No one's gotten fired yet. Wait. No, I think someone got fired. Didn't like New Orleans coach get fired? And all I remember is that I think I actually made 3 predictions when we were supposed to make one. One of them was that no one would get fired. I think one of them was like Mike Brown for the Knicks or something like that. Anyway, I can't remember. But the ones that I care about are the MVP and the finals happenings. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Do you want to try to piece together any other thing? I don't know. Was that enough? Maybe. That would probably be enough. Yeah. For a game. Is that all we do in the second half? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Did we do it? Yeah, we did it. Good job. Good job. Thank you for listening to the Weepisode of Go Team Score Points. Today's episode was edited by Irish. Information came from The Athletic and the Old Man and the Three podcast. You can reach us at goteamscorepoints@gmail.com.